CSS Grid layout separates a page into major sections. Grid property offers a grid-based layout system having rows and columns. Makes it easier positioning without floating or positioning. It's very similar to Flexbox, so this is kind of like what our finished product's going to look like for now. Let's pull this off to the side. And let's get Visual Studio Code. A little bit less. Let me refresh this here. Okay, so in HTML I got a section div with a class of grid. You can call it what you like. We got 6 divs inside of there. I gave them all the same class of card and card 1 through 6. Let me make this bigger for you. Okay, feel free to pause if you want to copy, type it in. So we have a link to our style CSS right here. Just have 2 folders right now, HTML and CSS. So let's go into our style.css, and first let's initialize our page so that there's no margin, padding, and set our border box up. So let's see, put the star, never seems to be big enough. Okay, star, curly braces, and let's get our box sizing. Set it border box, margin, not max resolution, margin 0, padding 0. Okay, save that. By the way, I'm using live server with the Visual Studio Code. You can set it up in your extensions. Okay, let's get to it. So remember, each one of these divs inside of our class, our section, has a class of card. So dot card. Let's just give them all some styling. So I'm going to give it a color, pound 333. Let's give it a background color, dark orange. Actually, let me just copy some of this and paste it in. The rest, okay, so we got a border radius, box shadow, padding, margin, and text align center, and save. Okay, that's what we got so far, and we're not using the grid right now. So to make these all a grid, let's copy our class grid, and underneath card, let's do a display of grid. Save that, and nothing happens yet. We have to, right after grid, let's do, it's called grid template columns. Okay, not rows, but columns. And what we can do is we can do pixels, fractions, percentages. It's more common to use fractions, so 1FR, 1FR, and you hit save. So there's 2 columns. with one fraction. If you put another 1FR, that's what happens. So let's back up for now. Let's leave it at 2 for now. Better yet, leave it at 3, 1FR, because we're gonna, now we want this card 1 here to span throughout like a full row. So instead of using rows though, we can just do underneath this grid, dot grid, and then pseudo property of CSS called first child. Let's give it curly braces. So right now we're targeting the first child of our grid. So the first child is going to be card 1. What do we want to do with it? Say like you give it a color, background color of blue, deep sky blue. Okay, save, and we targeted that. Now if we wanted to take up the full length of all 3 columns, we can say grid column and then span 3. So it's spanning all 3 because remember we have 3 columns. We targeted the first child, we're going to give it a span of 3. Save that, and there you go, it's the width of span 3. You can, as you make the page bigger, you can see it stays, the width stays within the 3 columns. By default, it's the whole width of the page. You can also change the width of the grid too. But for now, let's go into let's go 2 lines down. We're going to do dot grid. And if you want to target, say like this here, third child, nth, nth child, and say 3. So with nth 3, we're going to target the third, say background color. Let's give it a fire brick. Okay, and the background is craft. You can change the color of the text. Oops. Let's go underneath here. Control. So we made the color of the text white. So yeah, that's the basics of CSS Grid. Obviously there's a lot more to it, and if you take a crash course on it or something, you can look into documentations of it. There's plenty of free resources. I took Codecademy. You can take free Code Camp. There's plenty of, but just for a basic grid system right now, I'm just showing you this so you can get a general idea of how it works. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, guys.